Belgium. I am Cypher977.
I'm Dutch Muso.
And we're here to bring you live racing coverage of the Gavra Racing drivers at their finest here on this circuit. So, a lot of interesting stories to note. More specifically, there's a lot of drivers in this race. A lot of switch arounds and a lot of changes. So, we're gonna try our absolute best to just get through a decent chunk of them and try to explain it as best as humanly possible. But before I go on the long tangent, do you have anything to say?
No, not much, but yes, our chef did bugger up his front there by going through those bollards. Interesting to see what he can do now with that damage.
So yes, Chef was our winner last week at Laguna Seca, but here he'll face even more difficult challenges. You can see Hondax is in this race as well, so Chef was Hondax's replacement last week, so this time he will be racing against Hondax. Don't try to question us on how that works. Marcos, who was Endex's replacement last week as well, will also be racing against, well, Endex. And the main championship contender, Kev Sinel, he is not here, but instead will be replaced by Snaker, who we see on screen is here. Kieran 1 will also not be here, so Snaker just going to take on the double team duties today. And I think the last major person of interest, or is that everyone?
Slim Sign is covering Cass.
Oh. Didn't I say that?
No.
Did I say Snaker?
No, you had it right. You said Snaker was covering for Cass.
Oh, alright. Well, with that out of the way, we'll hopefully see what these guys can do on this very small and very, well, I don't really blame you if you don't even know what this track is, considering that it's quite an obscure track. Just a lot of straights with a lot of these short like chicanes here, and that can really upset the balance of these radical cars, especially going over the hill like this, but most likely they'll be able to get through it pretty well.
I mean, the only sort of problem I can see is with the first chicane on now. But the first part isn't too hard, as we see Snaker spun around.
Yeah, there's plenty of sweeping corners on this track, so very easy to lose the back end at any point on this track, really.
We'll stick with Hondax here as we go through the first sector now. Actually, surprisingly difficult first sector is it's really quick, but at the same time you have to counter the understeer and oversteer of these cars.
Indeed, and then you have this small bump here before going into this third turn. See, it upsets the car just a little bit.
Here, the straight then leads into the very fast left-right chicane here. First part's fine, that actually slopes down, but the second part is actually on a hill. If you take it just wrong, where your right tires are just on it and your left tires are still on the road, you can actually get into a bit of trouble there.
Indeed, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys go about taking to this track. It definitely requires a lot from the drivers at asking.
The nice thing about this circuit, though, almost all the corners are on camber, which means the track slopes with the corners, so you can take a little bit more speed around the quick corners.
Right. But at the top of the standings so far, it is ESR Chef, so continuing where he left off last week in dominating the time standings.
Hondax does seem to have a little bit of a tough time here with the oversteer on his car. As I say that, he actually goes just under a tenth behind Chef.
Yeah, even with a little bit of sliding there. Manic currently sitting in third with the 138, so he's sort of leading this middle pack in the 138s right now. But it'll be interesting to see who out of the mid pack can break out and sort of put in a good performance today. Last week we saw quite a few number of people actually come back to have some decent days, like Razy and Joe. So, any thoughts as to who might have a really good race today?
Not really quite yet, but as we see qualifying orders, I definitely see a much more comparable performance, as people might still be running high fuel and things like that.
Right. And in terms of the fuel situation, we anticipate it will be a standard one stop with no tires taken, although unlike Laguna Seca, we expect the rear tires to maybe take a little bit more of a toll on this track than at Laguna Seca. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
But these guys will definitely have to watch their tire temps. Manic goes on a bit of a 360 tour of Zolder.
Indeed, right.
These cars, underneath this track is a bit notorious for its tire wear, because a lot of the corners are just so quick. You really take a toll on your tire temps.
Right. Ooh, is that a jukebox just behind him? Who just went off there in the background? Yeah, it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or
somebody else was up there.
yeah, so there's quite a lot of runoff here on this track. A lot of dirt to kind of slow the car down, but you'll see the cars getting incredibly upset over the not so much high curbs, but definitely bumpy curbs for these kinds of cars.
That is also sort of, it's a blessing, it's also a curse with that chicane that we just saw in the jukebox. It's on camber, but it's very much on camber, so it's a bit of an extreme, and that can upset your car when you get on the throttle again.
Right.
You spin it there.
Toby actually goes fourth as him and Marcos pit Mike there, who falls down to seventh. So they are actually the first to set times in the 137, so they've broken away from the 138 group.
As we saw just in the background there, jukebox having a bit of a slide to the last corner there.
Ooh, it's
going over at first.
Yeah, once the car gets sucked in by the dirt, it's really difficult to get out. But Hondax has managed to beat Chef's practice time with the 136 flat. We expect maybe to see, as Chef goes 9/10 faster, I was going to say, we expect to see the fastest times probably set in the 135s. Probably.
Seeing this, I do think Chef is going to win, because look at the fuel he has, and then how fast he's going.
Right. Indeed, he'll come around the last turn. What will his time be? He was 9/10 up in the second sector. And indeed, it's a 135.4 from Chef.
As we see practice complete now, everyone's just making their final runs. Where people are. Here, Hondax, let's see what he can do now.
Right, Hondax might have a little bit of his work cut out for him this weekend with Chef also in the driver's seat. So, see what he can do. As he comes across the line now, set his final practice time. And it is faster, but he only sticks at a 135.9.
I don't think he'll be too particularly happy about that unless he he was sort of experimenting there because his fuel is very low. He couldn't keep up with Chef. Let's see what happens in qualifying.
Slim Sign, the last driver on track, currently sitting 8th in practice times. He currently sits in the 140 region. But as we head up to qualifying, it's definitely an interesting prospect for pole. They're not too sure who will come out with the advantage. It's certainly just who can come out with the fastest time, but you want to be really careful that you don't spin the car out.
You know, it can be very frustrating. You know, you're on a very good lap, and then somewhere at the end of your lap, you just spin out and hit a wall, and that's that lap, you know, absolutely bug it. So.
Right. So we'll go through the practice times here as it stands. It is Chef, Hondax, and Marcos, your top 3 in practice. We still have qualifying and the race, so let's go down to the grid as the qualifying grid. Hello and welcome to everyone joining us here in the Gavra Racing chat. Hello to Sender there, saying that he could probably do 3rd in practice time if he was out there on the track.
Sender, I believe that's Kev, so...
Right, sorry. But we wish that you were also racing along with them, but we understand if you weren't able to make it. And as you can see, the very, very highly advanced Zolder pit lane exit. Just separated. Yes. Only separated by a couple of guardrails.
It does sort of remind me of the old Paul Ricard where, you know, the pit exit was on the racing line.
Right. But curious who's at the front of this pack. Ooh, it's just there, Manic. I believe that's Razy. Uses a little bit of contact there. Ooh, and even more contact, and even more contact. That was the really bad sequence of corners there, and that indeed was Razy, who I think made a little bit of contact with Manic, and Manic sort of just got ping-ponged. I don't think either of them really meant to do that, but that was just really unfortunate.
I mean, you know, Manic should have just let Razy through there, in my opinion,
But as qualifying continues, I believe, yeah, that's Joe Black just in front of Razy. So, as the first couple cars coming across the line right now to start their first qualifying times, we'll go on board and see just how they take a lap of the Zolder circuit. As you can see, all throttle down the front straight, then you have to line yourself up for the quick left-hander of turn 1, brake to around well, you don't really have to brake too much. But it seems like Joe opting not to shift down there. Very interesting.
Will help you keep a little bit of that extra traction there to slow your acceleration.
Right. Maybe I would have shifted, but that's just me. And then to turn 3 here, gotta be careful over the initial bump heading into the turn as it can upset the car. Then you have the second of the straights here on the track, then you have to prepare and line yourself up for the chicane of turn 4, and this is usually where the first heavy braking zone is, although Joe takes it relatively nicely, but he does have Razy just behind him, so I wonder what's gonna happen between them. Then you have turns 5 and 6 here, the first of the slow sections of this track, so then you have to flow into turn 7 and 8. Then you might actually get to relax a little bit, but then you have one more difficult braking zone here at turn 9. Indeed, Razy does go through. So, right. Small kink here, then you have to line yourself up for turns 10 and 11. Usually braking to around 3rd gear, sometimes 2nd to really arc the car in. And that is a full lap of Zolder. Stands now, Razy sits across with the 136 flat. Index across the line. Honda's only going 137.1. So Marcos, Mike, Peterbib, and Ruben Todero, I believe, are in the pits for most likely pit penalties, I believe. ESR Chef only going 137 as well. So Slim Sign going 143. Index only a 142. Excuse me what I said about Index, as ESR Chef takes a small spin there. Gotta be pretty careful. Here comes the rest of the pack just behind him. That's Mike. But already 5 minutes past in qualifying, and it seems like not too fast times being set. So everyone definitely still waiting for an ideal point. As Mike just kind of cuts the chicane there. I wonder if he will get cut for a corner cutting penalty.
That is actually the pretty strange thing about that chicane. You can actually cut quite a bit of it and just get any movement.
Well, we don't want to tell them that now, do we? That would encourage bad behavior.
I mean, obviously, you know, you can still get hit post-race with a penalty from the race stewards. I don't want to be cutting too many chicanes.
But after the first set of times goes by, we'll see. I believe that's Snaker just in front of these guys, who will come across the line to set the new times. So they'll be coming at us in rapid succession. Snaker jumps to 5th with a 138.6. Toby jumps to 4th, 138.3. Mike, did his time get invalidated? It did.
Yeah.
And Peterbib, I believe, is starting his lap, I believe. Either that or Mike was also just starting his lap.
Yeah. Nobody came out. Actually, I think, was it Mike? Mike, I think, had a
penalty?
Yeah.
But as it stands, Razy actually puts a time in the 134s. Sets a 134.7. And he's currently beating Hondax and ESR Chef, who've set 135. 135 and 137 respectively. So it's up to these two to now respond. And Razy goes even faster. Here comes a few more people across the line. Joe goes faster but still stays 6th. Can Hondax beat Razy's time? He does not.
I think that might be a bit more of a cooldown lap.
But indeed, it's quite unnatural for Hondax and Chef to not already be setting times, as Chef gets a huge bit of drive loss there off the final corner. Can Chef pip? He gets Hondax only 135.83, and Snaker gets into 6th, and Toby, I believe, gets past Manic again.
It's actually a pretty good race for Toby.
Index only 11th, 142. Peterbib setting his first time 142 as well. So very unnatural times for some of our former race veterans here. I say unnatural times, but I guess an unexpected performance, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we expect too much, I don't know. We could be worse, we could be F1 commentators. What?
I just imagined David, David Crofty. Force India in P15. What?
I believe it's Joe across the line, and he does go up to 6th, 137.9. Hondax does indeed go faster, 135 flat, so he'll have one more shot. Chef, he get back ahead of Hondax. It'll be him. He'll have one more shot at it if he can. And he does get back ahead of Hondax, 135 flat, but still, no one's been able to get Razy's 134.2, which now that I'm starting to think about it, how legit is that 134.2?
I mean, the stewards will look into it anyways after the race, I think.
Oh, Hondax! He pushed it way too much.
It is then
And
Razy definitely on my pole position.
yeah, Chef is also out. So, with Razy's incredibly fast 134.2, which will most likely be under some sort of review, Chef and Hondax have been relegated to second and third this race, and I believe this will actually be Razy's first pole in this series.
I do have to congratulate him if this is that was the legit time. That is 7/10 faster than sort of the fastest person.
The only ones left on track now are Toby and Manic, who will likely fight for 4th and 5th, as well as Snaker, who could probably get past, or I say that, but he finishes up there, so only 8th for Snaker there. Mike and Index. Index only putting in a 141 now, so he could go faster.
Toby now 4/10 up on his previous time, his best time.
Indeed. So this won't be, Toby won't be able to get past Hondax, but he'll at least probably secure 4th. We'll see what Manic can do. He seems to be the last. Indeed, Toby with the 136, although Manic getting held up by traffic. I believe that's Index. So
Yeah,
with the
making his day.
yeah, so unfortunate there, as Index is the last on track to set in this time. Mike, I believe, also finished up there. So with the last man across the line, can Index improve his time? He does not. So there you have it. Razy Real, or what he formerly used to be called, will be starting on pole with ESR Chef and Hondax 3rd, followed by Toby, Manic, Joe Black, Jukebox Hero, Snaker, Slipside, Mike your top 10, then Index in 11, Peter Bib 12, Marcos 13, and Ruben Todero, both of them without setting times, likely due to penalties of some sort. So, a very interesting prospect.
This will definitely be a bit of a drag race towards first corner then, because it is pretty slow, which means if you are in first after that corner, pretty much first sector is yours then.
Well, yes. We did talk about before the race how difficult it might be to pass, and our driver's actually willing to pass in the chicanes here.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be a bit of a on-the-spot decision making. If you're close enough, if you got enough speed.
Right, well, we'll go down the grid as it stands. First on the grid is Razy, who's gotten his first pole of the season. We'll see how he can do it tonight. ESR Chef starts in second, followed by Hondax in third. A pretty close qualifying effort from both of them. We'll see who comes out on top. Toby just looking to get even more consistent points for him, as well as Manic. Both of them line up 4th and 5th, looking pretty good prospects. Joe Black also looking ever improving. He starts 6th, along with Jukebox in 7th. Pretty good qualifying from them. In 8th, we have Snaker, followed by 9th. It's Slimslide. Both of them replacement drivers. We'll see how they take the grid today. Then followed by Mike and Index, 10th and 11th. Both of them pretty far down the grid, so let's see if they can pull a back-to-front sort of challenge. Peter Bib in 12th, Marcos 13th. Both of them, Peter Bib, not exactly an ideal qualifying effort, and Marcos and Ruben Todero didn't set a qualifying time, so they will start 13th and 14th.
it's sort of all up to Racing now to get a good start and you know, make sure that he can get on the inside line as quick as possible to block Chef.
So once again, welcome to everyone who's joining us here in the chat. If you have a driver you want to shout out for, or if you just want to show love to the Gavra Racing commenters, then be sure to type it down in the chat and we'll answer any questions that you have for us. But in a shock effort, Razy has started on pole. We don't know if that's an official pole, but it seems like the race will be starting that way regardless.
Here we go.
Indeed.
Get that cockpit view of Hondax.
Ooh, Hondax, but 4 red lights. And we are green, and Hondax gets an amazing start there. He preemptivated the lights like on the dime there. He currently is beating Razy into turn 1, and indeed, Chef is now dealing with Toby just behind him, followed by Manic Snaker there in the background as they all scramble into turn 1 now. So it is Hondax who leads from Razy, who's now going from Toby as he and Chef now fights for 3rd place. Manic there just holding up in 5th, and then behind them that's Snaker chasing down Joe's into 7th now. But as it stands, Hondax with the lightning start was able to pit both of them. And now we have a race on our hands to see just how quickly Chef can sort of regain his momentum and try to catch back up to Hondax. It's just there in the background. Jukebox is falling, or he was actually, I believe. Yeah, I think he got hit by, I'm trying to say, I believe he was in a small skirmish there because he's dropped down to 11th there. So just in front of them, everyone's sort of just filing through. Joe Black now looking for Manic there. Roberto probably hit for a penalty there, lets Marcos by, and indeed there, ooh, that's Joe just getting really squirmic there. Now he's under pressure from Slim Sign behind him. Excuse me, Mike. So a very hectic start here, at least for the mid-pack. See if Joe makes a move on Manic. Not quite. And just ahead of him, that's Razy, who's holding off Chef just there in the background. The battle for 2nd as Chef indeed goes by. Or wait, I'm looking at the wrong cars. I'm sorry, this is Razy actually fighting Hondax, so Razy does in fact have the pace to keep up. So, is there, Razy does in fact look for a move on the leader Hondax, so Razy looking very good here today. He's fighting Hondax and ESR Chef. Because I have the same paint scheme, I thought they were, it's a little bit like looking at a painting. Oh, as we have one car that's Index in the pits. So Index, yeah, he's got some damage there. So an unfortunate start only goes worse for him, but meanwhile back up front, Razy looking ever closer on the back of Hondax. As further down the pack, that's Mike going for a little bit of a dirt ride there as he loses ground to Joe.
But hitting those balls kind of actually, oh, it's Razy actually just to find him there.
Yeah, Razy.
Front wing damage.
Yeah, Razy looking around the outside. They're still neck and neck going into 10 and 11. Hondax tries to keep it around the outside. He can't do it, so Razy is indeed back up into the lead.
That was a very good Razy.
Now Chef looking for peak on Hondax, can't get it done. See right there in the background, that's Toby just keeping an eye on this battle. Snaker in a league of his own, he's in 5th right now. And Joe actually does get ahead of Manic there for 6th place.
Oh, somebody is around, I believe.
Oh, Petabib, or Mike, excuse me. Mike was actually fighting with Petabib. Petabib up to 9th, but Mike has fallen down to 11th.
Right.
Oh, just ahead of him. That's Joe, who's off there. Joe taking a dirt ride of his own there, but he manages to get on the track ahead of Jukebox Hero. Meanwhile, a small lock up there from Razy as he gets it wrong there in the chicane, and he continues to spin it around. So really unfortunate circumstances there for Razy, who was leading the race, but a simple mistake and lock up there has caused that Radical to pull off a 720 there. He rejoins in 5th place, but now this relinquishes the lead to Hondax, who is now fighting ESR Chef for 2nd place. Well, this is Mike on the back of Marcos. I haven't really talked too much about Marcos. He's sort of just been in the background of this entire race. And indeed, Slim Sign has also fallen off the back, so I believe he has had some issues of his own. But just there, that's...
It does surprise me a little bit that Mike hasn't got too much damage to those valves, because they can sometimes, if you're driving a Formula car, they will take the
Right. Marcos was looking for a move on Petabib, but now he finds himself susceptible to Mike, who's behind him. So, go through the start phase. Only 5 minutes have passed. Razy finds himself catching back up to Snaker. As right there, Chef and Hondax look to go side by side through the chicane. They're looking to, well, actually the battle already finished. Chef did in fact get past Hondax there. Hondax very slow. I wonder if he had to let go of some time there.
His nose does look a little bit more curved than that of Chef.
Marcos gets in front of Petabib, so Marcos into 9th now. Razy still on the back of Snaker there. I see there. Yeah, right there, that's Razy, who looking a little bit on Snaker. As you see, that's Toby just in front of him.
This could be a way back to the last podium position here. It's actually surprisingly not like he is now running away. Razy now looking for the inside.
And he does.
Gets it done.
He's up the inside, but is he going to be able to hold it? And yes, he does. Around inside for Razy, he's back up to 4th. Now he'll chase up to Toby, who gets the 2nd corner a little bit wrong, and he decides to go around the outside, and he looks to get it at the entrance of turn 3. He does. So Razy, span of 2 corners, is back up to 3rd as he touches the 3rd a bit.
Great moves from Razy, that's all I can really say there.
So, meanwhile, back, Petabib and Mike still under a lot of pressure there. Petabib, he was ahead of Marcos, but then got overtaken, so we'll see if he can hold off Mike there. Still trying to recover. Oh, is that Jukebox off there, as Mike does indeed get the run around the outside, so this will be for 9th, and indeed Mike gets it. Jukebox with the sudden spin there, so he's down to 11th. Unfortunate for him.
Maybe not really letting Razy just escape, just keeping within that slipstream range.
Right. Hondax is actually keeping pace with Chef. He's not letting him get away quite as easily. So, as the race starts to slow down just a little bit, hard to believe it's only been 10 minutes. Hondax looking to maybe get around Chef, although it seems like they're relatively quite equal here, at least to the chicanes.
But that is the thing that comes up. That's the
while Razy has actually managed to put the distance on Toby. So Razy, in fact, one of the faster drivers on track as it stands. He could catch back up to these two and mount a challenge. It's not out of the question just yet. So he's just there in the shot. He could catch up.
It's actually faster.
Yes. Well, actually, I just noticed Razy has underfueled the car to quite a drastic degree.
He's only 5 meters off though, so
Well, I think
that's not much difference.
well, I mean comparatively to the rest of the field. I think Hondax is either that or oh well, there's one. Marcos, yeah, and Mike have filled up for at least 40 liters. So at least a couple of top guys are running at least half of the field that some of the guys in the back are running. Oh, his Index is out of this race, so unfortunate circumstances for him. He could not finish this race, but will continue on here. As Razy continuing to set fastest sectors and fastest lap times, he will catch back up probably next 5 or so laps. Will at least be able to be on the same straight.
Back. Ooh, Index is left.
Right.
See, Hondex has made a mistake.
Yeah, likely small wheel spin there has cost him a little bit of time. Who is closer? I think Marcos has finally started to find his pace just a little bit. He's climbing up ever slowly. As this is Jukebox here on the back of Peter Bib for 10th place.
Behind them, Slimstein and Roberto also really close to each other.
Right. Slimstein in Rubit's draft, although not able to. Ooh, is Mike. Mike has spun up ahead off of the final turn, so he's lost spots to Peter Bib and Jukebox. So both of them up to 9th and 10th.
And that is something I have noticed with Mike. You know, he can go fast, but his consistency is just off.
Jukebox now looking to the inside of Peter Bib. He gives him the room. Jukebox just enough of a space. And he
trying to fight back.
He keeps it. So Jukebox into 9th is in the back. That's Mike who spins again. Oh, and Rubit Todero hit him. Or was it Slimstein?
I'm gonna...
It was Rubit Todero, yeah.
Yeah, Mike and yeah.
So Mike...
I think Slimstein was in there as well. Somebody was in there as well, because I saw a front part fly off, but let's see if it was...
I think that was Mike's...
Here. Yeah, his inside rear as well.
Yeah, so Mike spun on the entrance to turn 3, and I think Rubit Todero just kind of got the worst end of that.
This race is actually flying now.
Yeah, he's caught back up to these, well, at least the Hondax, but Chef has started to sort of put a gap.
But he's actually driving faster than Chef is. It's under 4 seconds now, while just 2 laps ago he was at 5.
Catching and passing are 2 different things, so we'll see how he goes about doing that. But likely Mike and Rubit Todero will be in the pits there for some time, so right, I was saying about Mark, he's slowly starting to find his pace. He's setting times faster than our top 5. He's currently trying to come back at Joe Black there in 7th place. He's one of the ones who started on a really heavy fuel.
could be a good comeback drive for that. But I'm curious as to how the top three actually are going to attempt to finish the race now, because normally they all fuel up to 40 and then at the end they refuel up to 40. I don't know exactly what the max fuel is on these cars, but if it's around 50, 40, then might actually have to pit twice now. As you know, they go into fuel save.
Oh, Toby. Just noticed he's fallen down to 6 as Razy pops up to 2nd there. Simple error there from Hondax has allowed Razy back into 2nd place. But yeah, yeah, Snaker has caught these two, and Manic is now ahead in 4th place.
Razy actually making quick and easy work of Hondax, which I'm not surprised, or I did not expect.
Yeah, he's setting the fastest times on track, so could set back out for Chef. As Marcos looks to maybe look for a space on Joe, there for 7th. So that's the lap car they're going around.
That's not a lap car, that's the position.
Oh, that is. Oh, that's Snaker. Wasn't he just...
Yeah.
Or, no, that's, yeah, he was up there. When did he get back there?
Oh, it's one of the many mysteries Simon can't answer.
It was like 5 seconds ago he was up there with Toby and Manic.
But that is a mark past Joe. In P6 already.
Okay, well, Snaker's down to 8th apparently. Marcos indeed gets the move done on Joe, so he's up to 6. So Snaker will be next to hopefully gain the spot back.
But Razy still keeping up a very good pace. His Hondax is dropping off him now. This could be Razy's first win.
Well, it's a long while from deciding if he's gonna win yet.
So you check who has the most fuel out of these three. I guess Hondax has got the most fuel, but just marginally. Razy the leads by quite a fair bit, so Razy might be going for an undercut on them. I don't know if he knows their fuel like he does, but...
Meanwhile, you have Joe Black leading a new train there. A sort of forming train, but then he thought Marcos was able to kind of pull away a lot quicker than that. Seems like Joe's kind of keeping up with it. And it's actually Snaker who's fallen off the back of this group. As Ruben Zodero is the next DNF in this race, so is out and will finish 13th. He's not too far off. Marcos, ever since he took 7th from Joe, he hasn't really been able to make a sort of gap.
It's very good of Joe to everywhere just maximize the slipstream. This circuit has more than enough straights for that. It's right behind him now.
Yeah, Marcos aggressively defending the inside. He'll look to keep it into turn 1. Joe looking for a decent cutback, and he does. Around the outside he'll look.
Mark just not really getting the exit that he wanted out of 1.
Yeah, he kept it around the outside, just cut him off just at the right moment in time. Meanwhile, just ahead of these two, Manic and Toby. Oh, that's Toby who spun it.
Yeah.
Just out of... There we go. Yeah, just out of camera shot there. Toby's in the dirt. He will lose 7th and... Where'd Marcos? Oh, Marcos is up to 5th. So Toby
Yeah.
down to 7th.
Crazy now, actually within 1.5 seconds of Chef.
Right. Well, he seems to be the only one setting times in the 135.
I mean, Chef and Hondex might be pacing themselves because of tire temps or something, and they might have a bit overly aggressive setups.
That, or this is just the magic track for Razy.
That could also be a thing.
Meanwhile,
if you love a track that in your rival mode, you do have a bit of an advantage when it comes to that.
Joe still looking to get past Marcos for now 5th as Toby falls off the back of these two as there's Marcos had a small slide there. Joe taking advantage. So Joe now up into 5th place with Marcos' mistake, although Marcos back up the inside. Can he get it going into turn 3?
Should have the slight advantage on the outside.
Oh, Marcos! Yeah, he pushed the envelope there just a little bit. And Toby is going to get back up into 5th place. Here comes Snaker. Will he be able to get Joe as well?
Stu will definitely have something to say about that.
He does get Joe.
He's so overly aggressive.
So Snaker now on the back of Marcos. And meanwhile, Razy has fully caught back up to Chef. Just at the 20-minute mark. Chef very slidey through the first corner.
Razy seeming to be very consistent here.
So Razy, after spinning, has caught back up to last week's winner. Can he pass him for the lead of this race? Indeed, he looks for a move. Thinks better of it. But as it stands now, oh, Snaker, something has happened to Snaker again, because now he's down to 9th. And now Jukebox Hero is in 8th. So every time Snaker seems to have something good happen to him, he immediately finds a way to mess it up.
He's getting a bit deep on the brakes there.
Yeah, Razy a little bit more confident on the brakes than Chef. He's definitely peaking.
He's going a bit wide there on the exit.
Curious where Razor will try to make the pass, because Chef definitely is just as strong as Razy throughout the chicanes, but it just seems like on corner exit, Razy is able to take the entirety of the corner.
The thing with the chicanes is, I mean, there is only one line through them, so they're just so narrow. And, you know, it does disadvantage Razy a little bit. He can't take them sort of how he wants to with braking speed.
Right.
It's supposed to take it how Chef takes it.
So, kind of stationary at the moment, but with only 10 liters of fuel, Razy will likely have to make a pit stop. So, could he actually get the overtake done in the pit stop phase, or do you think he'll want to do it early?
I mean, you know, sort of the earlier he does it now, the better, because if he gets before the stop stage, you know, he can sort of get a gap behind him and he'll have security for the pit stop stage, but if he has to wait until after, he will have to fuel for more.
Meanwhile, Snaker first of the pit stops in 35 minutes. So, likely just to get pit stop out of the way and try to go back out there and make up some time as, oh yeah, just talking over what's happening on screen as Razy does get the lead.
Chef getting a little bit squirtly out of the last turn, and Razy is now passed. So now it's all up to him to get that gap going now.
Right, it's Chef just getting it a little bit wrong off the exit of the last corner. It's allowed Razy to come back at him and retake the lead of the race. But can he keep it is the question. Definitely hasn't been accident-proof this race.
I mean, he's only made one mistake, but you know that one mistake is all it takes to win the race. But he has come back quite well.
Definitely put on a shock and awe for now. And meanwhile, Hondax is severely fallen away from these two actually, so which means, well, he's not running too far times, but I don't think he's just running at the pace these two are running.
Seconds behind the leader, that's sort of, you know, where he's at, that 10-second gap.
Right.
As Chef is now out of slipstream range. Hitting everyone out of last corner again.
So definitely issue with the back end of the car. If you're watching us, Formula 1 Practice 2 just finished up. So yeah. I think it was Vettel who got fastest time.
I'll check now. That is actually a bit unfortunate for us.
Well, we have to make sacrifices too. We could have been watching Formula 1 practice, but we're here bringing you live coverage of this race.
Well, at the same time, you know, all of the audiences who wouldn't be watching us were watching Formula 1, so...
Pick your poison, I guess. Would you rather watch us blab about these things, or watch F1 commentators blabber about F1 things?
I mean, not much really different.
Like I said, we just happen to not talk as much shit.
We don't hate our drivers.
Either way, I believe there's a red car came in, so I believe that's Peterbilt.
Yeah.
Who has just entered the pits. And as it stands now, Toby has dropped behind Joe. So Toby has most likely made a mistake somewhere again, because now he's fallen behind him, going into the pit stop phase. Toby on 11 liters, so he'll be pitting rather soon as well. And that's Marcos, who has made an error somewhere as well, because he's fallen behind these two.
That is something that is quite good about the circuit, though. You know, if you happen to spin out, there's a lot of runoff, so you typically won't hit the wall.
He says that, and then somebody hits the wall eventually.
Somebody's gone off here. It might just be the layout of the first second one.
Yeah, Peterbilt did come out in front of Mike, so he'll be stationed in 11th. Snaker was one of the first to pit, right? So he's only 10th. Still got a lot of ground to cover up.
This circuit doesn't actually seem to be very fuel heavy. Because on half of the fuel, Race has made it halfway in the race.
I mean, we kind of see this on a weekly basis, that if you fuel it long enough, you can pretty much run till, like, I want to say the last 50 minutes. I would say, ooh, that's the lap car of Snaker?
Mike.
Or Mike, excuse me, going off there. But we do see this every week, that there are some guys who wait until the last 10 minutes or so to make it stops, and it's usually just for a splash of fuel.
Splash and dash.
I do think it's just a card thing.
But you can actually pretty much see what I was talking about here with Razy and Chef now. You know, Razy, because he's got the pace, just getting the gap behind him. If there's something goes wrong in the pit stop phase, you know, he's got that gap in which he's still a little bit safer.
Right. Marcos did overtake Toby for 7th now, so both of them in the battle for 6th before the pit stop phase. Well, Marcos doesn't have to pit for a while now, so be interesting to see how far he goes, as that's Joe into the pits for his stop, along with Toby. And just behind him, that's Jukebox, his teammate, also in for their schedule.
Has a speeding penalty, 10 seconds.
Yeah, so unfortunate, just getting pipped by the speeding police there for Jukebox, so he'll have to work extra hard. He wants to keep ahead of most likely Snaker, as Slim Sign's coming through here.
That's one of the funnest things that Kimi Räikkönen has ever said when he was in an interview, and he was asked, have you ever been caught for speeding? He replied with, yeah, only pit lane moves. Toby actually coming out ahead of Joe, who is still in the pits. Only coming out now.
But you know what a big power move is?
What?
Getting a pit lane speeding penalty and getting caught by the police.
In the same day.
Yes. Which I'm pretty sure has happened to somebody, but I can't say off the top of my head. I want to say it was NASCAR that it like happened to, but I'm not. Someone can look that up for me.
We'll see. Whoever can tell us the name of that person gets a chocolate.
They'll get one free shout out. If you can give us the name of a driver who got a pit lane speeding penalty of any kind and also got pulled over by the police in the same day. Because I'm pretty sure that has happened.
Hey, Suki's watching.
You just now noticed that?
Dude, I haven't been on the YouTube thing at all.
I've been on it since this race began.
I was born in the YouTube, raised by it.
Meanwhile, Razy has pulled the gap of Chef over to 5 seconds, but he'll most likely have to pit this lap with no more exceptions. He's pretty much running on fumes.
He's actually doing a very good job to maximize, you know, his strengths now, because he is running on considerably less fuel than even Chef at this point. Actually, wait, what? Chef's almost overtaking him in fuel use. Wait, no, there we go. Okay. I was gonna say.
Not that much fuel, but you could definitely run maybe 3 or 4 more laps.
But for me, instead of for a second, it was on 1.3. I was like, wait, what?
Is that Hondax? How much fuel does Hondax run?
Hondax is 5.6.
Alright, so Razy definitely, you know, for a driver, definitely started with the least fuel.
Oh. Joanna says Danica Patrick. Sounds about right.
Well, congratulations, you get our shout out, Joanna. I don't know whether to be impressed or to have mixed feelings.
I don't know what this channel's policy is on sexism, but you know, of course it would be a woman to get it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. We believe in equal equality speeding tickets.
Oh wait, is Razy gonna make it? He's on 0.2 liters. Wait.
It'll be fine. Equal equality speeding tickets.
Oh, that is close.
You worry too much. Razy is professional.
Yeah, but you know, if he literally went to too much throttle on one of these corners, you wouldn't have made it. 0.2 liters of fuel, that is fumes.
It's called cold calculated math. But it seems
now, when is Chef going to respond? Because Chef will be quicker now on his in-laps.
And Razy is already out and away, so he comes out in third. Just ahead of the group, well, not the group, but just ahead of Marcos and Mannix in the pits. Getting so confused now with Marcos and Manic. First it was Mike and Manic, now it's Manic and Marcos.
Those are never right.
But as it stands now, Slimside is one of the few who hasn't pitted yet, along with Marcos. So I'm curious, will Slimside maybe hold Toby up a little bit? Because Toby is still trying to, he could still maybe get to Marcos. Oh, Chef's gotta be really... I thought Chef was gonna hit the wall there.
No, that would
Chef is in for the pits. Razy is right there, so he will overtake him.
Good thing is, what Gavra's in.
And Hondax is also... It's coming out just now. It'll probably be the similar gap. Because it was 5 seconds. So out of the pits, Chef comes in. Yep, the gap stays to around about 5 seconds, although Razy's now got a plethora of lap traffic to deal with.
Actually, Chef's taking more fuel than Razy.
Right. Manic, who's come out in 5th, he'll likely regain 4th. So it's Manic there who got the 3rd there, trying to overtake Peter Biv. Did I say? Would it help if I just called them all Mike?
Just all call them the Slim Shady.
You know, there's so many puns we can make with everyone's names, it's not even funny. Either way, Mr. Slimside actually catching up to Joe here for 7th place. What I was going to say before I got lost track was that Sign, I believe he's yet to pit, yeah. So he did lose the spot to Joe, but he's keeping a decent pace.
I do wonder why Joe pitted so early though.
Probably just that to split it half and half sometimes.
We need to like quite a bit.
I mean, if you split it half and half, then you sort of get an equal weight reduction. The car doesn't really feel any different throughout the entire race. Well, probably for Marcos, the car feels incredibly heavy, but in the later run, it'll feel incredibly light. So, I guess you could say Joe's black, or Joe. Don't take that out of context.
How could one possibly do that?
I guess you could say that Joe's strategy is perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
So what were you gonna say then? Joe's black what?
Nothing. That was taken heavily out of context. Anyways. So now that the race has more or less reached a stalemate, we'll go throughout the grid. So Ray's who's now sort of pulled out a 6-second gap to Chef. Chef sort of holding it pretty stationary, as well as Razy, as their times have more or less kind of well, Chef's still kind of pushing, but he just can't match Razy's time. And Hondax has fallen drastically off these two, around 20 seconds. So Marco's currently in 4th, although he still has to pit. He'll, I wonder if he'll come out in around 8th or something, because that's just how close the gap is. This is Manic here in 5th place. He will take 4th place when the pit stop cycle goes through. And then behind them, that's Toby, who's not too far ahead of Joe. He's there for 6th and 7th. But Slim Sign's dropped off again. So Slim Sign, just before the pit stop cycle, now finds himself susceptible to Jukebox in 9th. So can Jukebox overtake him before Slim Sign hits? Jukebox does have the 10-second penalty. Thankfully, though, he has just enough to stay ahead of Snaker in 10th. Should things stay the way they are. And then Mike, whose day didn't really start off well and hasn't really got any better. He's still down in 11th. And then Pita Bib also, well, actually, Pita Bib and Mike are fighting for the second to last spoon. 11th and 12th, so more power to them for sticking with it.
Positions are positions, points are points.
Well, I mean, you definitely don't want to be the last driver finishing.
No.
Even though, Slim Sign has spun around in the first chicane. So he is down to 9th. Jukebox here will in fact take 8th. But I was going to say the only 2 DNFs out of this race were
Index and Rubito.
Yes, right. Well, specifically first Rubito, then Index.
No, Index was first and Rubito.
Well, that's what I just said.
Is it Rubito first and Index?
Well, yeah, because I meant 13th and 14th. I thought you meant 14th and 13th. No, wait. I thought you meant Index was 13th.
No.
Okay, just so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Rubeto Darrow was 13th, and then Index was 14th.
Yep.
As you can clearly see, we're very professional at our job. We should get hired by ESPN. We should get hired by ESPN and cover motorcycle races.
Dude, MotoGP, that would be awesome though. Well, unless it's like motocross and it's not so awesome to commentate.
Why do you say that?
No, motocross is fun and all, but to commentate, I think it's just hell.
Either way, Slim Sign is finally in for his pit stop for the day, relatively late. Will he come out ahead of Mike, I wonder? Mike's a lap down. I guess that's kind of just the day he's been having.
But that is sort of, you have to work on his consistency. It's just been nowhere this season.
Of course, we don't want to put anyone down.
No. I mean, he's quick, but he just has to work on keeping it on the track.
It's just a matter of racecraft. Ooh, takes out 3 bullards there.
I do believe Peter
Pete did. Hey, remember how you said no one was going to hit the barrier? Guess who proved you wrong?
Mike and Sims are now getting close to each other. Wait, no, never mind. I thought they were a lot closer now.
I I'm not gonna let him live this down. He said no one was gonna hit the barrier this race. I said,
like,
give it a race.
One place it would be easy to hit the barrier. That's where someone hits the barrier.
Like, give it time. Meanwhile, this is Joe looking on the back of Toby here. These guys' pace has been up and down all day, but as Marcos finally pits, we'll see where he slots in compared to these two, as Toby, with the penalty, lets Joe by. Speaking of inconsistencies...
Yeah, I mean, Toby's sort of been having the same problem as Mike, but just less dramatic. I mean, you know, he's got corner cutting little things, and then you have to slow down and just lose a little bit of time.
Marcos is still in the pits. I wonder how much fuel is he taking. Just about 20 liters. Probably didn't need to take that much. Because here comes Toby and Joe right here.
Yeah, they'll get in front of him. Should at least, I think, maybe. No.
Yeah, it'll be just closer. He comes right there. It's just up the road.
But he will be a little bit compromising to first, so they will still be gaining time.
So Marcos comes out 5th ahead of Toby and Joe. So from what started off as a relatively poor qualifying effort, Marcos has once again found his way back inside the top 5. So good effort from him. Rennick, though, probably being a consistent man of the hour, will still hold on to 4th, so really good on him. And we haven't been talking too much about Razy because he's still been...
We will not give him the commentator's curse at this time.
Pretty quick to shut me up there. You were waiting for me to mention him.
Dude, I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna mention it now.
Do you believe this guy? He was waiting for me to mention him so that he could shut me up. The absolute nerve. Because of the chance that I might jinx him.
Dude, my day's been scary today with that though, honestly.
Well, you haven't exactly been Mr. 100% today either.
No, but it's been cursed. I said today, oh look, it's perfect weather, it's not raining at all. I go outside to go to school, it rains.
Bites the dust again. So Toby has lost 6. Joe's up to 6, yes.
Jukebox does have to pull a bit of a gap now to Snake, otherwise he will lose 8th as well.
Right. Snaker's been slowly gaining time on Jukebox, so as it stands, Snaker will get 8th place. Fine, if you don't want me to talk about him, I'll talk about somebody else. I'll talk about, I guess we'll talk about,
Yeah.
Mike, yes, we'll talk about Mike then. What is there to say except he's been having not a good day?
Not really much. Yeah, let's risk it, boy. Living on the edge.
What do you want me to do? Not talk about who's winning the race?
Yeah, obviously, dude. Obviously, no.
It sounds like something an IMSA commentator would do.
Yeah. Sounds about right again.
Either way, we have 10 minutes to go, so you won't have to hold your breath for too much longer. He's got a 12-second gap.
I mean, now, you know, if he spins or something, he should have enough time to get it back on track, but... Let's hope nothing like that happens.
Unless he hits a wall. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
No, he's not going to prove me wrong. Or be the second person to prove me wrong. Me and Racy, best of friends.
Sure. He's gonna look back and wonder who jinxed him. Say, not me. Either way. Well, it seems like Snaker might actually catch up to Jukebox before the penalty does. He's starting to reel in the times, actually. He's putting in times faster than the top 5. But considering how inconsistent the top 5 has been today, I'm not really sure what to say anymore.
I mean, the only person to only really make one mistake was Racy, and he's already fixed that by a huge margin.
And to be fair, Chef and Hondax haven't really made, in quotes, mistakes, but they certainly haven't been on the ball, I guess, to put it in F1 terms.
But I mean, Hondax was a bit sloppy on the defense against Racy, and so was Chef. I mean, Racy was just kind of lucky when it came to sort of catching them with their pants down.
So Snaker is actually just about on the same straight as Jukebox and Toby. As I say that, Toby has fallen even drastically farther down. I don't think he'll lose the time to Jukebox, but to be fair, wouldn't be the weirdest position swap I've seen today. I swear I've seen people teleport this race.
I'm Snaker.
Because yeah, Snaker is definitely faster than all these guys. He was one of the late hitters. Or no, wait. Oh my god. He was one of the first hitters.
Yeah. Wow.
And there is a Jukebox just ahead of him, so yeah, I'd say at this point, Snaker will in fact get 8, Jukebox will fall to 9.
If no one makes any mistakes.
Well, see, that time you jinxed it.
Well, who did I jinx though? Jukebox or Snaker?
Or Toby.
Or Toby.
Hondax now a whole minute behind Racy, so I think he's definitely just kind of called off trying and just kind of hoping to bring it home and move on. Definitely,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, once he had a 50-second gap to, Chef, but then at that point it's sort of, just thinking about the team not doing anything risky, just bringing on that E3.
Well, I think both him and Chef were expecting a little bit more from this race, especially considering that they are 2 of the most winningest drivers in the series so far. But yeah, for Hondax to finish 3rd like this, it's definitely a surprise.
I mean, he's done it, I think, twice before.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in the prospect of this race, because we didn't see this pace from Racy coming.
No, I mean, his qualifying was already a bit of a shock, and then, this pace where he's only a second behind his qualifying time.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it probably won't be an on-track incident, but off-track inspected.
Yeah.
Clearly that's not a radical engine in that thing.
Swapped it out with the Ferrari F1 motor.
Sure about that one? I wouldn't call that one a reliable source.
I mean, it's the most reliable engine on the grid, I believe.
Vettel.
Oh, actually, yeah. Now I remember, yeah.
Did you forget that happened?
Yeah, I actually did.
to say, yeah, Toby's times have fallen to the point where he's just up ahead of the road of Jukebox. A lot of these guys in the later half of the race are starting to set times in the 140s, so a full near 4 seconds off the times that they were putting at the very start of this race. Considering none of these guys took tires, starting to wonder if maybe there might have been some small regrets.
I mean, I said at the beginning of the race, this track is, a bit notorious with its tire temperatures.
Well, true, but the strategy all season has been to not take tires. Well, actually, I found the driver that you jinxed. It was Snaker.
Oh my, yeah, he's fallen off way.
Does he have damage? Because he's definitely, it looks like it's not been the greatest condition.
His front's bent a little bit upwards, but that could be normal.
So now Jukebox's 8th was actually safer now.
Yeah, I think he might actually have front damage there.
It's definitely looked like it tilted there on the straight.
Yeah, he's definitely got damage anyway. Yeah, on the side you can see it's more curved.
Yeah, so Snaker, all he really had to do was stay in the 10-second range, but it looks like that will be near impossible now. Because now Jukebox is right on the tail of Toby, just in front of him, his teammate for this race. So, these two possibly go at it for 7th place.
I mean, for Jukebox, there's really no point now because, 3 minutes, that's what, 2 laps? It doesn't really have much of a point for Jukebox to fight Toby because as a team it's useless, but even, for Jukebox now, he's got a 10-second time penalty, so if he wanted that P7, he'd have to drive 10 seconds ahead of Toby.
Indeed, Snaker's just losing about 2 seconds a lap at this point, so will just look to finish and bring it home 9th, but definitely could have been 8th or even 7th if he had caught back up to his pool.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame what happened to him, but Racy is now 20 seconds in front of Chef.
I believe Chef had a small incident, but I was surprised that Marcos wasn't able to close down the gap on Manic that I thought he would, at least with his time.
Racy might actually lap Hondax. Wait, no, he doesn't have enough time, but the fact that Racy is 2 corners away from lapping him, that is... let's just say weird.
This whole race has been weird, to say the least.
So I think there might only actually be 1 lap remaining then, because I don't think Racy will cross the line with enough time to make it 2 laps.
Yeah, there'll be 1 lap left. So indeed, Racy does take the white flag left, or white flag lap. So what started off as a dominating performance, then we thought he was out of it for good, and then came back to dominate it again, will look to lead to Racy's first victory this season.
Actually, a very good performance in this one. From being 5 seconds behind the, the infamous Hondax and Chef, now leading them with 20 seconds and a minute 14.
Jukebox looks to have fallen from the back of Toby there. Looks like he won't be able to make a move. Well, he's not too far, at least with Toby's small error there in the final corner. You're also on the last lap. So the only one across the line who hasn't started the last lap yet is Snaker behind these two. Oh, there's a car off in the his first chicane. Is that Manic? That is Manic. And now he's become susceptible to Marcos as Marcos looks to dive bomb it for 4th place. He gets a huge lockup there. Forces Manic to take a wider line.
Manic will either have to give that position or at least slow down a little bit because that is a little bit unfair. Mark did squeeze him off, but he did take a little bit more of his fair share on advantage cutting there.
Meanwhile, with Crazy, he has done it. He has crossed the line to win here at Zolder. But yes, just behind him, actually, that's Marcos and Manic. Going up the inside, Marcos not able to make the move. Although looks around the outside, Manic gets a little bit squirrely out the last turn. So with ESR Chef. So yeah, just in the final moments, just one mistake from Manic brought Marcos back into it. Chef will finish 2nd, Hondax 3rd to round out your podium. It will be Manic 4th, Marcos 5th, Joe Black 6th. Obi will indeed stay ahead of Jukebox for 7th, and Jukebox will finish 8th. And then last on track will be Snaker in 9th, followed by Slim Sign in 10th, Mike 11th, and Peter Bibb in 12th. There's Hondax still just about a whole minute off the time. So yeah, a very, very wacky race for a lot of drivers here. Even going down to the last turn there, it was still undetermined for some of the guys.
You know, especially Mike and Mark there, but I think there might be a little bit of investigating after the race of that, but
See,
don't think
you
there'll
did
be
it.
much action taken.
I think you meant to say Manic and Mark.
Wait, who did I say then?
You
Oh,
said
Mike
Mike.
and Mark. Ah.
And so there we have it. Razy, Chef, Hondax, your top 3, followed by Manic, Marcos, Joe, Toby, Jukebox, Maker, Slim Sign, Mike, Peter Bibb, Ruben Todero, and Index, your final 14. So then, who would you say is your driver of the day?
Razy. Absolutely Razy.
Well, I'll have to give it to Razy as well. Absolutely stunning drive to come back from a spin to win the whole race. You can also tell us who your driver of the day as well. And, well, yeah, it's a very interesting race from all sides of the grid, actually. Definitely some unexpected occurrences. Oh, this is the part where you say something.
Oh wait, what? Sorry, I was looking at the stream.
So there was a lot of unexpected circumstances.
Yeah, you know, especially Razy winning by almost 30 seconds and Hondax, you know, being so off the pace. But...
Right. So, once again, thank you all for joining us here at the Gavra Racing's Radical Series. I think now we're on a week break, so we finished one of our tours now, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, next week is break, and I'll just quickly check what comes after the break. After the break, it is Nürburgring Short.
Alright, so join us back in 2 weeks for more Radical Series action. I've been Cypher Knight 77.
I've been Dutch Musa.
And we hope to see you once again for more racing action. Have a good day, good night from whatever part of the world you're in. And, yeah, join us once again.